Welcome to Along of the Dead episode 2. So today we're gonna add guns to the player, and we want our player to have his main and his secondary weapon. Before we start, I want to inform you that I know that the guns are not the best quality, okay, but I couldn't find any free package that contains animations and guns at the same time, so we are gonna focus only to how to play the animations and how to actually implement into the engine. Without any delays, go back into the engine. So, I downloaded two asset packs that I'm gonna list it into the description, and we start by just adding a new map that will be the prototype. So, you're gonna download the FPS hands from GLASSO, if I remember correctly, and the prototype map. So we go to the prototype map folder, go to prefabs, and we drag and drop the prototype map. So it's pink or purple. It's pink because we are in URP and the materials are for the built-in render pipeline. It's easy fix. We just go back to the prototype map, we go to materials, and for prototype map and for these two, we go from the standard to universal render pipeline, and we go for the complex lit. We leave it to compile, and there we are, and we delete our floor. Now that we have the prototype map, we're gonna just select it, go to the layer, and we go to ground, and of course we go for yes, change children. So now that we can press play, and now I'm not in the new map. Okay, we're gonna open it, and we select the walls, obstacles, and the ground, and to this we're gonna add a mesh collider, so there is collides between the player and the map. We check the player, and we're good to go. We just press play. Now we're new in the prototype map. We can just jump around as we used before, and we can walk and shift at the same time. Perfect. Okay, let's add now the gun into the player. You go to the folder that you downloaded from the asset store. I renamed it FPS hands. Go to the pistol one, and that pistol one we're gonna just drag it into the player, and especially drag it inside the camera. Inside the camera, why? Because now when I rotate the camera, I can see that my hand rotates as well. My hand will be at position 0, 0, ending Y to minus 0.4. So now I can see my hand pretty good. Before we continue, I want to change the material into the hand because it's a little bit shiny. I'm just gonna drag and drop a new material by create material, and the base color, just drag and drop the FPS asset pack, and we'll go for the smoothness to 0. This deletes the whole shiny thing. Okay, now that I have my gun, it's time to add it into the wall, and when I press the button, I'm gonna just equip it right into my hand. So we are gonna go back to the pistol one. We will press that triangle icon, and that pistol one, I'm just gonna drag it into the game. As you can see, it's again pink. I'm just gonna drag it into the mesh renderer, the material that I have. And now we have our gun. I'm just gonna place it into the wall. Perfect. So now when I press play, I'm gonna go to the wall, and I can see my gun stay there. And there it is. Okay. Now we're gonna rename that pistol one Beretta or Maraco. I don't remember. I'm gonna rename it Maraco. And that pistol one as well. So we're gonna disable the Maraco. And it's time to create a script that when the player is close and press the E button, we're gonna just disable the gun that it's in the wall and enable the gun that it's in player's camera. So we're gonna create a new folder that we will call it prefabs, and inside the prefabs folder I'm gonna create a new one I will name it items. And inside the items folder, I'm gonna create a new script, and I'm gonna name it pickup item. Pickup item. And of course, we open it. Perfect. Now, we're gonna use the same setup that we used for the player. That I mean for the input actions. So we go for the using Unity engine .input system, and as we can see from the variables, we have the input actions. We go for that as well. So go just copy paste into a region that we call it variables. And now we just take the whole setup, just copy and paste it. Perfect, now we have the input system straight into the point. Now, we're gonna go for the on trigger stay. So when the player is close, we will check it. If it's true and press the E button, that means that we can take the gun. So we go straight into top and we write private bool is closed. This will be the true or false. It depends if the player is close or not. Just for the construction, we go for the region awake, enable and disable, and end region at the end. We save it for now, and now we go for the private void on trigger stay. As long as an object that its name is player, we will do is close equals to true. Private void on trigger exit. When an object that it's leave from the trigger and its name is player, we'll go for close equals false. Now, in update method, if input actions dot player dot interact dot is pressed and is closed, then for now we're gonna fire a debug log that we will tend to interact and save, and we go back to Unity. Okay, now to the gun that it's attached to the wall, we're gonna add the script, obviously, and we're gonna add the box collider, and of course we're gonna make it bigger. Now we want the box collider to be on trigger is true, so when the player is closed it will actually can pass the trigger. If it's false, that means a solid block. So we go close to the gun, we press E, and as I can see from the debug log that it's interacted. With one E you can see it runs like 100 almost to 55 times per second. Okay, at least we know that we actually interact with the object. It's time now to add the gun into the player so that we can see we're holding it. But before we go, I want you to create a new C# script and name it pickup weapon. Name it pickup weapon, and we're gonna open it. I will explain it in a second. Of course, we wait for Unity to compile, and we take the whole script from the pickup item. We just copy and paste it into the pickup weapon, and of course we don't forget the input system. And why is that? Because in Left 4 Dead, when you take a weapon from down, you actually leave the weapon that you are holding down. So the script knows the last information from your weapon. But when you pick a healing pack or a Molotov or grenade, you just pick the item and you add it into the inventory. So we have two scripts, one for the items and one for the guns. We could mix it together, but because it's the first series and we just start from the beginning, we actually separate these two. And from the Maracov, just press the right click in the pickup item, because now you have the pickup item. Just press remove component and drag and drop the pickup weapon inside there. Okay. Now we go into the player, we create a new C# script and name it weapon manager. So now the weapon manager will know the informations about the weapon and how many ammo and what kind of ammo. No, we won't complicate that. Okay, so for now we are gonna use, of course, the input system just to be safe. We might need it, and one region variables and region. For now, we want a public list, a public game object array for our weapons. Weapon and the current weapon, public int current weapon, and how many ammo we have, public int weapon ammo, and public int weapon clip. So when we pick a gun, the gun from the down will say how many clips we have per mag, and how much ammo I have in my backpack. So we save it, and we're gonna create a public void that we call it assign weapon, and we will need an int ID. For this ID, we're gonna disable all the weapons that we have. So for int I equals 0, for weapons length with I++, weapons I dot set active false, and we're gonna toggle the assigned weapon, weapons ID set active true, and of course the current weapon equals ID. Now we need one more, how much ammo, so int current clip and int current ammo, current max ammo. So we're gonna name it this max ammo and ammo clip, just to be more precise with the names. And ammo clip equals current clip and current max ammo equals to the current max ammo, and actually not current, so we name it assign clip and assign max ammo. Perfect. Now the weapon manager will know what kind of guns do we have and how max clip for per mag and how much ammo we have in our backpack. We select the player, we drag and drop the weapon manager, we leave it as it is, this to 0, and to weapons we're just gonna drag and drop the Marak that we have. Okay, so now the player knows that we have one gun into our pocket. So we go back to the pickup weapon. This is where we start to complicate things, and instead of just interacted, we're gonna have a header for the weapon data, and we need public int weapon ID, public int ammo clip, and public int max ammo. So now, instead of interaction, we need a reference to the weapon manager. So we will create one private weapon manager variable, and we call it WM, and instead just is close to true, we are gonna get the reference to the weapon manager. So wm equals other.get component weapon manager. We get the reference from the player. And when the player is leave from the hitbox, we're gonna just say wm equals null to delete the reference. So now when the player presses the interact button and is closed, that means that we're gonna add it into the player. So wm dot assign new weapon, and we're gonna send the weapon ID, the ammo clip, and max ammo. And for the testing purpose, we will just delete the object or set active false. This dot game object set active false. Perfect. We save it and we go back to Unity. We go. Okay, now so we have the data. I'm gonna say weapon ID 0 because in the weapon manager it's the ID 0. And for ammo, let's say 15, and for axe ammo 150. We press play. We go into the pistol. We press E. I have it into my hand, and if I go to my game manager, I can see that I have 15 and 150. Perfect. Now we can just pick a gun and actually hold it. Pretty good. Now it's time to add animations, how to reload, how to shoot, and other stuff. And later we're gonna just switch the weapon. So we have one, I'm gonna interact with the other, I'm gonna leave the one, and I'm gonna take the new one. Okay, so let's start by adding animations for now. The first thing that I'm gonna say is to turn into the weapon manager, and this will be the stats. So what kind of gun I have, how much ammo and how much I have. And of course there will be assigned the damage later when we will add the zombies. But we need a new animator, public animator. I'm gonna say weapon animator. And we press save. Now we need to start creating the animator and assign the animations into the player. But before we continue, we need to create animations about walking, running, and crouching. So let's start by just right click into the camera, create an empty game object, name it smooth controls, smooth animator, is smooth movement actually. The names doesn't affect anything. We're gonna drag it up the Marakov into the smooth movement, and now into the player, right click, create folder, and we name it animator. And into the animator, right click, create animation animator controller, and we name it smooth animator, like the smooth operator, but we go for the smooth animator. And we will create 3 animation clips. One animation clip will be the walk, the idle, so we'll go for 4. Running, basically idle, walk, run, and crouch. These will be the 4 animations that we need. In order to control them smoothly, and we need to create a new blend tree. So right click, create state from new blend tree, and we have a float variable that's called blend. We call it movement. Inside the blend tree, we need just 1D direction, and we just press the plus button and we add motion. We disable the automatic threshold. The first one will be idle, the second one will be walk, the third one will be go for that. 0 will be the idle, 1 will be the crouch, 2 will be the walk. Come on, let's go for the run 3. There we go. Idle 0, crouch 1, walk 2, and run 3. Sorry for that. We select all of them and we go for the loop time check. Perfect. For now, we select the player and we drag and drop the smooth animator, and we select the smooth animator. No, sorry, we go to animation. We press save, of course, to save everything, and now we need to press record. For the idle, I just want a little heartbeat that goes the weapon up and down slowly, not something hard. So, from the 0, the smooth movement will be, and we toggle the gun to actually see it. I'm gonna just leave it either. So, for the idle, the smooth movement will start a little bit lower. That goes to, I think, 0.03 will be okay. For 2 seconds will be to 0. So as when we press play, we can see the gun goes slowly upwards. For the 4 seconds will be to 0.003, or actually to 0.03, so we can see the loop. Perfect. Now to 8 seconds. Where is the 8? We go back to 0, and in 12 seconds we will go to, come on, we go back to minus 0.03. Now we have our whole loop of idle animation. We can make it shorter, we can make it longer. It depends on the player, and actually depends on the developer. But I like that, so we're gonna keep it like that. As for the crouch now, because already we are crouching, so already we just lower the player, we will use actually the same animation for the walk but slower. So go for the walk animation. We started from the, no, press play, from the 000, obviously, and for the 1 second we need to actually increase it to the Y value, so we go for the 0.03 again, but a little bit to the left, so we go, just goes like you're holding something. So it will go to the 0.02, and in the 2 seconds we go back to the 00. The 3 seconds we go for 0.03 again, but in minus 0.02, so we have like that. In the 4th second go for to the original, and that's the loop. So we can see that it works pretty okay. As for the crouch animation, will be actually the same, but we just decreased by half. So instead of walk animation before, the crouch animation will be 8, because actually when we crouch it goes slower, obviously. And sorry when you see my face, I'm just looking the I'm just looking the OBS to check if it's recording or not. Okay, so we'll just copy and paste it into the crouch, and we have the whole animation. But instead of 1, 2, 3, we go for 2, 4, 6, and 8. Okay, this is the crouch animation that we have when we crouch. As for the run animation, we just kinda take the walk and multiply it by 2 the divided by 2 the speed, so we'll just go from 4 to 2 because he's running. And we are gonna actually do the same. Obviously, we need just to have the animations, not something real professional. So we'll go for 2. So when the player is running, we can see that animation. And now let's go for the one. That's better. 2-1 then. Okay. I thought I saw a snap. Anyway. Okay, now we have our animations. We have the animation for idle, crouching, walk, and run. Now it's time to add the animation controller so the player will know which animation we play in which kind of state. So we go into the player movement script and into components where we'll write a new reference, so public animator, and we'll call it smooth animator. Okay, so far. Now into the handle movement, along with the speed we play the specific animation. So if speed equals 0, smooth animator dot set float, we need to set the movement variable that we had, or actually we have, into 0. So be careful that the name of the variable in the animator will be the same as that one we have set. We know it's float because the blend space takes the float variables. Else if speed equals crouch speed, smooth animator set float to 1. Now we see how it will create it. Else if speed equals to run speed, that means smooth animator goes to 3. Or we can say the walk speed. And let's just to stay clean, else if speed equals run speed, that means smooth animator goes to 3, and that goes to 4. Save, back to Unity. Okay, now to the player movement, we can see that we have a smooth animator, so we just drag and drop the player into the smooth animator. We press play, and we can see that we have our object that moves up and down. When I press W, I can see my hands a little slowly move around. When I press Shift, I can see my hands move pretty fast. And when I press crouch, I can see the same but slower. Because I don't like actually the time, I'm gonna go back to animator, and we change what? We change the run to 1.3, the walk to 2, and the crouch to 1.3. This is the animation speed. Instead of going back to adjust the animation timeline, we go into the animation and we change the speed. So now, when I press W, I can see it actually moves better. When I press Shift, I can see that actually it's really good. And when I press crouch, for the crouch, let's go for 2. Yeah, for the crouch we go for 2, for walk, and for run. For walk I could prefer 2.3. Let's see. Yeah, 2.3 would be actually great. Perfect. Give yourself a tap with the shoulder that you did it. You have a player that just actually walk around. It has a gun to pick up. When we pick the gun, we can see it in our hand. We can have different animations between running, walking, crouching, and stay idle. And in the next episode, we will add how to shoot, how to reload, and how to pick up different weapons. And we're gonna start later by the adding inventory, Molotov grenades, heal packs, and other good stuff. We have a lot of to see, so leave a like because it helps me out, subscribe if you're not subscribed, the classic ones. Leave a comment, what do you want to see in the series for games like Left 4 Dead or Call of Duty Zombies, and I can see you in our live streams or in the next episode. I'll catch you up.